time of uncertainty, insecurity, mass hysteria, and paranoia. Trust was hard to come by and fear was abundant. Accusations of witchcraft were thrown out left and right in the small village of Salem. Witchcraft was a new phenomenon in America, but all over France, Italy, Germany, and England, behavior accused as witchcraft had been going on for hundreds of years. In 1484, Pope Innocent VIII rejected witchcraft, stating that the belief of anything related to witchcraft would result in the death punishment. Witchcraft was often done by those who were superstitious. These people believed that witchcraft could help get rid of their enemies. Authorities did little about these people. They needed more evidence before prosecution, more tangible signs of witchcraft. In 1486, the Malleus Maleficarum, or Hammer of the Witches, was published. This book was the guidebook to finding witches, listing rules as to how to judge and try cases of witchcraft. When a witch was accused, one method used to identify witchcraft was to find the devil's mark. Magistrates such as John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin would have to inspect the accused witch's body for any peculiar mark, and test with a needle to see if it was natural or unnatural. If there was pain and blood, it was natural. If there was not, then it was unnatural and the person was deemed a witch. Another theory was called swimming a witch. Using the theory that water was pure, people believed that if a witch were put in water, they would float because the water would reject the evil, and those who were innocent would sink. The Malleus Maleficarum also stated that torture could be used in order to make an accused witch confess that they were guilty of witchcraft. English magistrates such as Jonathan Corwin, the owner of the Salem Witch House during the trials, considered witchcraft a crime against the church and the state. Witchcraft was considered an act of treason and a criminal offense. In 1688, 15 years after Salem was settled, 13-year-old Martha Goodwin began exhibiting bizarre behavior. Days later, her younger brother and two sisters exhibited similar behavior. Laundress Goody Glover was accused of bewitching them. She was arrested and later hanged. This was the first of many witchcraft accusations in Salem. Later, on January 20th, 1692, 11-year-old Abigail Williams and cousin 9-year-old Elizabeth Parris began behaving much as the Goodwin children acted 4 years earlier. They were often left alone with the Parris' Carib Indian slave, Tituba. Tituba would talk to the girls about her childhood in Barbados. She would often talk about things such as magic and voodoo. She would even demonstrate voodoo tricks for the girls. Other Salem girls began listening to Tituba's tales. Soon the girls began lashing out into random fits of insanity and violence. They would say they felt prickled by pins or cut with knives. Later, in February, Dr. Griggs, a local doctor, suggests that witchcraft could be the cause of these behaviors. It was then that the Puritans realized that there was something evil among them. Pressured by ministers and townspeople to say who caused her odd behavior, Elizabeth Parris identifies Tituba. The girls later accused Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne, friends of Tituba, of witchcraft too. Arrest warrants were issued for Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne. In March of 1692, magistrates John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin examined Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne for any evidence of witchcraft. Pressured, Tituba confesses to practicing witchcraft and confirms Good and Osborne are her co-conspirators. In the next 2 months, Hawthorne and Corwin examined more suspected women for witchcraft: Rebecca Nurse, Martha Corey, Dorcas Good, Sarah Cloyce, Abigail Hobbs, Bridget Bishop, Giles Corey, Mary Easty, Mary Warren, Nehemiah Abbott, William Hobbs, Deliverance Hobbs, Edward Bishop, Sarah Bishop, Mary Black, Sarah Wilds, Mary English, and Elizabeth Proctor are all examined by Hawthorne and Corwin. Elizabeth Proctor's husband, John, protests to the examination of his wife and becomes the first man accused of witchcraft. Citizen after citizen was examined for witchcraft. If found to be a possible witch, they were then sent to jail, later to be tried for witchcraft. Some were pronounced guilty and sentenced to hang. Others were eventually released due to lack of evidence. Over 150 people were accused and tried. About 25 were killed that year. By 1693, the accusations died down and many were released from jail. There were many apologies for the behavior during the 1692 Salem Witch Trials. Behind the walls of Judge Jonathan Corwin's home lies evidence of the chaotic times during the trials. Many warrants found in the home piece together the events during the trials. The history we've scavenged from this home is significant in Essex County's past. The reality of it all is haunting and disturbingly true.